And when it comes to cutting this, this stuff is really a bitch. So let me show you my technique that I think is by far the best and gets you the best result.
Head underwater, with my eyes wide open.
Hey guys, welcome to the studio. Another day here, not making music because my speakers are still broken, but the new ones confirmed they were now built and they are now being tested by the company and then sent out. So with a little bit of luck, next week. I just opened Logic really quick because there were so many people asking me about my span analyzer settings in one of the last videos where I listen to your music and give you feedback and always have this graph open about the settings. I will post them on my Instagram and Facebook. The link is down below if you want to check it out, how it's set up and how I'm actually using it. Just go and check it out. The rest of the day will be mainly studio construction. As you know, the front wall of the studio, the two corner absorbers are now covered. Today it's more about finishing the vocal booth, also fabric there, and a whole lot of that black acoustic foam. It's a little nasty to install it and to glue it or to staple it into the wall. There are a lot of techniques that I tried out over the years and a lot of people ask me how I'm actually doing it here in the new studio. So I will show you how actually to install it, what are the best methods are, because that stuff can be nasty. I know a lot of companies sell it with a special glue. It either doesn't help at all and you can just remove it, or it sticks so hardcore that you will never get it off again. And there are actually ways that are better and easier to remove and also easier to cut the foam, because cutting it in a clean way is quite hard. We're finally getting there. It starts to look more and more like a studio that is kind of professional, way better than my old studio. We got here the black acoustic foam, quite thin because behind it, as you know, is anyways like half a meter of rock wool absorption. So this is more like a cosmetic thing to cover the drywall. I didn't want to paint it. I'm not really good with paint, and around the window it might just look messy. But now let me actually tell you how we attach this. I mean, it just doesn't stick with normal tape or this tape that is gluing on both sides. You can get that spray stuff, but again, then if you ever have to get rid of it and rip it off the wall, if you're just living in an apartment that is rented, you might have to move and then there's no way to get rid of it and you will destroy the entire wall and have to paint again. And it's just nasty. So there are actually two ways to attach it. One would be with the stapler. If you put the staples right in between, and the thicker the material, the less you will see them. So this is really perfect. It will just stay. Very easy. This works. I would do this on things that are like rough surfaces, for example on a wall or into wood. It just works perfectly. You can almost not see the staples, and if you want to get rid of it, you just pull it slightly. I mean, yes, it will leave like small holes in the material, but you usually can't see them, so you can't even reuse that stuff without a problem. And it just leaves the staples sometimes with a little bit of foam in there. Just get rid of them and it's all fine. That's actually how I attached this stuff in my old studio before I even started filming. So there's no film coverage of that, but I had a lot of that black foam in my old studio. I covered like 2 sidewalls and the ceiling. I thought it's a good idea, but it's really not. With that foam, be careful. It's good if you want to dampen the room a little bit and make sure that your voice sounds okay and just get rid of the reverb. A lot of people on YouTube use it if they do gaming or stuff like that in their room, and it's kind of fine. But for a vocal recording booth, try to use as little as possible, because this just covers the mid and top frequencies. And for example, if this entire room would be all that black stuff, yes, there would be no reverb and the voice would sound dry and basically good for recording, but the low end would be terrible because the low frequencies have longer wavelengths and they would still bounce around. They just go through this without any harm, and you will end up with a very boomy sound, like a very bass heavy, muddy bass heavy vocal sound. That is just awful for singing, vocal recording, drum recording, guitar recording. That's why I also have here the rock wool to just make sure it covers all of the frequencies. And here the first part of fabric, there also one. Another one will go in here, and then also the back wall. It will be all covered and just making sure that it sounds good. Another easy method, and the one we use today for this part that goes on top of the drywall, it doesn't leave the staples in so you can't see them. It's the silicone stuff, it's the same girls get into their breasts for whatever reasons. And it just makes sure that it sticks, and you can then pull it off again. I haven't tested it yet, but I think it will destroy the black foam a little, but then you can scratch it off of flat surfaces. For example, here on the door, we can remove it without a problem. You just pull a little and it comes off. It's the same stuff you also use in the bathroom to seal everything. You can just with a knife take it off again and it comes off in one part. So I think that's also a good solution to not destroy doors and all other flat surfaces. And when it comes to cutting this, this stuff is really a bitch. So let me show you my technique that I think is by far the best and gets you the best result. So yeah, welcome to the second studio room. This was where we were cutting that stuff today. It's still a mess, but come back in a month, it will look really nice. So these carpet knives, they work, but since they are not that long, the thicker the material, the less you will be able to cut it. You have to do then multiple cuts, and you can then see that the edge doesn't look that nice. You see, I have to cut it now 3-4 times, and it just doesn't look good. If they're fairly new, they cut decent, and you can then extend them long enough to get through it. It's one method. But what's actually way nicer is just using like a big ass kitchen knife. Make sure that it's sharp, and then it's just like one seamless cut, and it looks a lot better. So just look at the difference. That's the kitchen knife cut, clean and nice, and that's with the other knife. And really quick before I end the vlog, the progress. The door is now looking pretty nice. This is just missing, and we did all of the electric wiring. As you know, someone drilled a hole into the electric wiring here, so we rewired it and also moved all of the electric outlets to the drywall so that you can just switch on and off the lights when you enter, and all of this will be also covered with the absorbing material so that we have a nice back wall here in Studio A. But yeah, more on that tomorrow in another vlog. It's actually quite late already. We spent most of the day taking care of business stuff, taking care of the sineUP label. We now got 250,000 plays just on the sineUP label and almost 10 million plays on the AXSENS label, which is just amazing. So thanks a lot for the support. And if you don't know what the sineUP label is, if you're an artist and you want to release music, you can just apply. We pick like a few per week and release their songs on all major platforms, and you keep 100% of all of the money that your song will ever make. And we're now also offering a service to make a cover for you if you're interested, and also mastering is now included in the bigger plan on sineUP. So just hit us up. I will link it down below in the description, the first link. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's an exciting day. I'm visiting my mastering engineer to master my new single back to back. I'm quite thrilled. It's the first release after almost 4 months that I was occupied building the studio, getting this place, a whole lot of legal stuff, a whole lot of organizational stuff. So I'm happy to be back and release music. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you tomorrow again. Sign out.
You don't have to stay.